John McCaig here. John, Jack, same guy. That's me. I'm here. Hi. Um, if you listen later, if you listen now, God bless you in the name of Jesus Christ. I'm here doing a show for Jesus Christ Trust. And this is on the Ecclesiastical Trust, that copyrighted document that I created and that God uh, has taken a shine to and approves of and uh, backs as God, is the backstop to this trust, to the ecclesiastical trust. So, it's been a number of years that I've been saying, hey, I have an ecclesiastical trust, right? Uh, Non-statutory, private, common law, irrevocable, ecclesiastical trusts, right? All identifiers of what type of trust they use. But the word that is out of them, right? Although irrevocable is a word you could say is tied to religion, spirituality, God is so on. I would say that the number one word of those identifiers that pops out as, oh, I'm identifying this as a covenant with God, with Jesus Christ. The top identifier would be ecclesiastical, right? You're with me? Ecclesiastical trust. That's what you're describing, the trust that people get my trust, they do the work, and they get into the spirituality aspect of it and stuff, and they see it's all true. Um, and and I don't say what I don't know. I say, hey, I don't know this, uh, and I say what I do know. That's all. And then I explain how I got the information, and then how it all connects to everything else. All right. So I want to talk about the ecclesiastical nature of the trust, since this is Jesus Christ Trust. This show today is brought to you by the Poe family, Pamela Poe. Thank you for the donation. I can't do that. I only exist on donations, and my other work is donation based. So, you know, Pam, yeah, thanks for the support. Happy you're here. And let me know if I can help with anything, any questions, anything like that. So let's keep going on with this. I think there's a really important point that I'm bringing up here, Pam and others who are here, about the ecclesiastical nature of this trust. Because okay, let's go now. Let's because I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about what is the nature of this trust and brings God into it. Why do I reference it using the word ecclesiastical? First of all, I reference it as the word ecclesiastical just because I'm studying about trust years ago and so on. And that was the only one I ever saw that referenced, that it's with God or whatever. And when I explain it to people and say it's an ecclesiastical trust, they understand it. Okay. That word goes together. They're like, oh, okay. Um, so that's why I started using it, but only recently I'm like, well, let's look into why this is so important as an identifier, identifying this as a pact with God, ecclesiastical, right? That word. So ecclesiastical means, well, one thing it means for sure is that is based on the nature of a book in the Bible, right? So that's what it's based on. There's a book in the Bible in the Old Testament. It's near the end of the Old Testament. It's not at the end of the Old Testament. It's near the end of the Old Testament. But it's in the Old Testament, and it's called Ecclesiastical. I'm sorry, Ecclesiastes. Okay, so ecclesiastical would be uh, of the nature of the book of Ecclesiastes, right? You see what I'm saying? So ecclesiastical is based, is like, oh, that's like the book of, why can I not say this easily? Ecclesiastes. Okay. It's has the nature that's explained in the book of Ecclesiastes. Okay, so it's ecclesiastical. That's what that word means, right? Based on that book in the Bible. Okay, so it's first of all, I really recommend every. It's not that long of a book. It has 12 chapters in it, and so and Ecclesiastes has 12 letters in it, so 12 and 12, 3 and 3, 33. This book is about the time cycle. That's what this book is about, actually, in the Bible. It's really absolutely about that. I recommend. It's not a long book to read, so it's this identifier I use to describe this trust based on God. So I recommend you read that book. I was thinking about doing a short video before this video today and say, hey, you should read this book, but actually. Everyone has heard a bunch of different things from this book, Ecclesiastes. So I want to go into some of those things today and kind of show that this book in the Bible, hey, Jamie, uh, is really about the cycle of time. That's like, why would this guy, Jesus Christ, right? That's the script, that's the scripture. Hey, there's this guy, Jesus Christ, he's coming again. Again, he's coming again, come again. So it's not just he's coming because he already came. So he's coming again. You see what I say? So he's not just obviously we say Jesus Christ is coming, that means he's coming again. But when you say Jesus Christ is coming again, they say, well, that's actually saying he's coming again and again and again. Do you see what I'm saying? Just by the nature of saying Jesus coming again. All right, Jack. Good to have you here, Jamie. Good to have you all here. So, Jesus is coming again. You know, you see how you would just say he's coming. You see, if he's coming, there's a certain time, but he's coming again. What a statement. You see, obviously, if he's coming again. Okay, so that's just by that nature of that. Obviously, this thing is coming again. But let's go into some, actually it's like almost every single thing in Ecclesiastes. I read the whole thing. It's really only that whole thing is describing the time loop. It really that's what it's doing is describing it in detail. Some famous things like Bob Seger wrote a song and the Birds sang the song, right? Uh, and it's right at the start of the time loop, right? Famous thing by the Birds, to everything there's a season and a time and every purpose under heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that is which planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and on, right? A time of love, a time to hate, a time of war, a time of peace. That's a Pete Seeger song based on Ecclesiastes, okay? And the name of it is Turn, Turn, Turn. You see, like it's turning, turning, turning. You see what I say? It's not, this whole thing is explaining to you that there's a predetermined, figured out already script based on time. That's what Ecclesiastes is saying in that. You with me? So in Ecclesiastes, there's a time for everything in a season, for every activity under heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot, a time to kill it, a time to heal, a time to tear down, a time to build, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to scatter stones, a time to gather them, a time to embrace, a time to refrain. You see where I'm going with all that, right? That whole thing everyone's heard before. Uh, By the way, an important point about the book of Ecclesiastes is guess who's purported to have written the book of Ecclesiastes? You ever look that up? Guess who they say wrote it? Like Wikipedia and stuff. This is the this is the po- you know this is important piece of the fairy tale. Guess who wrote it? Anybody? You don't know without looking it up. I bet I didn't. I didn't. But guess who's supposed to have written this particular book in the Bible? If you guess the top Freemason character, you're right. King Solomon, the head of the Hebrews. That's right, Didi. King Solomon is supposed to have written Ecclesiastes. So you're saying you're doing a book, you're doing a trust based on King Solomon. Wait, with the Freemasons, but what? Wait, what? Right? You should think like that. But see, this book is simply pointing out that we're in a time loop. That's what it's really pointing out. You see what I'm saying? But Didi, you're right. Right, 24 scriptures of the Bible from the Torah. And this is in the Old Testament. That's what I'm saying. This is in the Old Testament. You see, they know that we're in a time cycle that recycles. They know the book of Ecclesiastes, that's their book. And so, what I'm saying, this trust goes along with obviously the New Testament. You shine with Jesus Christ, so you're in the New Testament. But I'm saying it's based off the Old Testament, right? There's a time to be born, time to die. Hey, that's all. That's all from your book. That's from the Old Testament. That's from the Jewish book. Hey, this is call it what you want. You could call it Jewish. You could call it Christian. You could give the time cycle any name you want to give it. Doesn't matter what the name of the time cycle is. What matters is it's happening. That's what matters. Not hey, what did you what let's not talk about the time loop. What did they name it? It's like that's not super important, you know. I mean, it matters, but it's not super. Yes, very good. That's right, King Solomon. Hey, for Solomon's Temple and top freebase agent, all that stuff. Exactly. Well, that's a supply is a Korea is truth telling. Yeah, no, it's this is a script written by God. And Ecclesiastes in particular is really super pointing that out. You know, so I say King Solomon supposed to written it. What's the biggest quote, that you ever hear from Ecclesiastes? So this is a quote from King Solomon then, right? The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing, and there never going to be anything new under the sun. Never. That's simply the fact of the situation. You see that nothing new is ever going to happen. So, and you're lacking information, some knowledge about what's going on. We're being lied to. So, if everything's always happening exactly the same, if you had the information of exactly what's going on, well, that's what has always gone on. That's what's going to go on. That's it. That's the information. If you have it, you can rule everything. That's what they do. They have the information. They don't have their memory wiped in a certain way. They have the information on, they're the characters here at Disney World. If you work at Disney World, you have a different way of interacting with Disney World, traveling through it, uh, where you park, what corridors you take, what doors you can go in, and which ones you can't, what buildings you can go in, which ones you don't, where you eat, what bathrooms you use, all that stuff. Everything's different for you and what you do if you work at Disneyland, and everything's different if you go to Disneyland and you pay to get in. Hey, I'm just going to Disneyland for the day. I'm a whatever I'm sure they have a name, right? Like the Disney players or Disney characters, that's who works there. And so whoever attends, I don't know what they call them, but whatever, they just come to play the game. So that's the two groups that are at Disney World, basically. You with me? And so that's the two groups that are here. Old Testament, they have all the old information. They understand it's in cycle. They get all that, you know. And then there's people playing the game. So they say only 7,000 won't kneel to Baal, to the devil. So the New Testament is only for 7,000 tops of all the people. It's only for 7,000. It's not for anymore. It's not going to be for anymore. So if you could tie, hey, this trust doesn't go against, if you're going to Disney for the day, it doesn't go against if you're, work at Disney. This trust works for everyone. You see? So if you name it, so if we look up the Cambridge dictionary uh, definition of ecclesiastical, it says belonging to or connected with the Christian religion. So why can you say that? That's so easy. You say the book of Ecclesiastes is in the Bible. So if you listen, hey, I believe in the Bible, okay, that's Christian. So that's why it's, of the Christian religion, you see. So it's from the book that, that's the script for the Christians. So it's in the book, it's in the script. There it is. So that's what ecclesiastical means. It means of the Christian church. It's, in other words, it has that overarching uh, a role. That little book, Ecclesiastes, has that big of an impact on the whole. It relates to the whole. Everyone is Christian, according to the Cambridge Dictionary. It relates to everyone Christian. You see, everyone. Uh, which is really interesting because it's in the Old Testament, So maybe it could relate to, if it's Cambridge University, relates to Christians and Jews, or you know what I mean? Like, they could say that they could say relates to Abrahamic religions or relates to, but it didn't. It says relates to Christian. You see, even though it's in the Old Testament, it relates to Jesus Christ, relates to the whole situation. It doesn't just relate to the Old Testament, it relates to the Old and the New. Because the time loop exists. It's not going to not exist. There's nothing new under the sun. There's not going to be anything new. Never, not ever. There's never going to be anything new. Do you see? That's the information that they're singing, to everything turn. That's what they're singing. They can't say it. They can, you can see by their actions, oh, hey, this is like Disney World. Y'all are like the characters. They already know what's going to happen, obviously, with everything. That's why, you know, EIDL PPP buddy comes along, whoop, they all get it. Oh, nice. I got everything ready. Okay. Hey, thanks for letting me know a couple of years in advance so I could get ready for the pandemic and get the money. And hey, cheers, and whatever else is coming our way that they already 100% know. It says, oh, hey, nobody knows of the day, you know, uh, you know, nobody. Yeah. Like the nobodies, like no one, right? They're not one. Like we know all about Judgment Day and a whole thing and everything that goes on at Disney World. They know, oh, if you're working at the, what do they have at Disney World? I work at Epcot Center. I know when you're going in and out of the ball. I know everything about the ball. Hey, I work here. Maybe if you're just visiting for the day, you don't know how Epcot Center works. You don't know the goings on behind the scenes and how to run it, and you don't know, like, how do you run a roller coaster? I don't. Who knows? Uh, but they know every detail of every background, everything. Otherwise, if it's all, oh, hey, I know what's going to happen, but you don't know what's going to happen, like, make up your mind. Like, there's nothing new under the sun. Oh, well, there's something new to us in the Old Testament. There's something new to the way. No, there's nothing new. It's always going to be them four young guys from England, take over the world with a British invasion of music. Like the British could invade the entire world and own it. Why that? They could have people listen to the Beatles, but they can't be like, okay, now you're our slaves. of England. Here, we're in charge of India and USA. We're running from a teeny little island up here in the North Atlantic. I mean, the history script is, like I always say, is insipid. It's not just stupid and childish, but it's insipid. It's insipid. It's you know, it's but that's God is understanding our dim-witted weakness for fairy tales because he made us. We're the creation of God. Like, hey man, what we love a good fairy tale. Tell us another story. That's all school is, a bunch of stories, one after the other, after the other. Oh, this is history, this is science, this is a whole bunch of fairy tales, you know? And we were just sitting there listening, all, oh, here's another fairy tale. You sit there and listen. It's like, oh my God, these fairy tales are so stupid, but you got to be like, okay, I get 100 on your fairy tale report. Okay, let's go, let's go. Like the whole thing you're growing up is like, oh my God, it's so stupid though. Like the stories are really stupid. Hey, we started a new country and we were men back then. We wore really fancy clothes with buckles on our shoes and wigs that we powdered every day. That really happened. It's like, no, we got the balls to take over a whole new country and we're wearing wigs doing it. It's like, the stories are insipid. You see us say this making fun of us as their human slaves. Our captors are like, let's tell them these stories, and they'll tell them back to us. They'll be like a whole bunch of dudes with wigs that they powdered every day, and they wore like these pretty clothes, and they would. That's who ruled us all. Not the stronger people or nothing like that. No, it's the guy with the wigs. They fucking they set us free, like what? Like it's making fun of us to tell is sip stories like that. Like, hey, they're so stupid they'll go for anything. And they're just like parrots. They're not even maybe parrots are smarter. Let's make fun of them. That's the way I see the past, like World War II. It's like World War II. Wait a second. They didn't learn enough for World War One. Year after year after year, millions of people just go ahead and go to this other country and murder each other for years, and your whole economy is going to be based on making things that murder each other, and that's what we're going to do for a whole bunch of years in a row. Humans are going to go for that, like as a bunch. I would be saying no from the jump. But like, you want me to take a gun and shoot some other dude because you bankers say so? I'd be like, "Man, how about I shoot you instead? Give me that gun. Yeah, I'll take that gun. Let me stand up there by the target, buddy. Okay, you were the problem, and now the problem's gone. I'm going home. Quit calling me down here. I'll shoot another one of you." Like that's pretty much, you know, who would listen to this? Who would do this? It's so stupid. And pantyhose. Thank you, TD. like, what? That's the begin. That's how America started. So I need to get me a whip. I need to be a tranny, and then I get the country. It's like that. Was that what you say? It's like maybe there's some truth to that. Like it's just so ridiculous, right? I mean, just the stories don't make no sense whatsoever of the past or anything. Hey, we went to the moon, and hey, we're talking to you live from the moon, and there's no delay, and just ask me the question, and I'm cool. I'm totally at the moon. What? What? I'm at the moon. Look at this stuff behind me. I'm at the moon. Look at the stuff I got on. I'm at the moon. Okay. Yeah, there's no delay. Well, what are you getting at? Like, I'm at the moon. Just every story has such a million like Swiss cheese plot holes, the history of Swiss cheese. Plot holes. So let's get back into Ecclesiastes, okay? So really, oh, what's the opposite of the word ecclesiastical? What's the opposite? What's you know, the antonym, not the synonym? What means ecclesiastical, right? What's the antonym of it? What means the opposite of ecclesiastical? And anyone, this is not an easy question. This is a hard question, but once you hear it, you understand it. Okay. The opposite or the antonym, hey, we could take a shot at it. You can go ahead. This is a tough one. I don't expect anyone to get it. I wouldn't have gotten it, nothing like that. I'm just saying this is the opposite of the word. Okay. And if you think about, I'll give you a hint. When you think about that this trust is non-statutory. In other words, you don't use a statutory agent, right? Don't use a statutory agent to create this. So that's why it's private, non-secular, right? Relates to that. Okay, so what's the right? Because you're not using a agent licensed by the God we trust, so you're not. You did it yourself, right? So it relates to that you made this covenant with God yourself. You see? So it relates to that. So what's the opposite of ecclesiastical is secular. Blatherfuddle, 100% secular. Perfect. Nail on the head. Man, that was a hard question. And you nailed it. Great. That's exactly what it means. Secular. So you see? So secular has to do with the government, the state, the in God we trust. You see, that's the seculars over there, section it off. We're over here. We got a more perfect union. That's us. We're the cult that goes for the devil. That's us. We're under the dome. We're here all the time. How you doing? That's sect. That group that's the government, that is in the shadow of God here under the dome, running things. Disney World, secular. That's correct. So this ecclesiastical thing again is done yourself between you and God. No intermediary. Very common in every religion, every mysticism, every spiritual anything is like there's some teacher. So what is this other part about Ecclesiastes? This book, it's often called the preacher. Uh, Meaning that there's a hierarchy of spiritual knowledge. Okay, so this ecclesiastical book is sometimes called the preacher. They use that as a word for Ecclesiastes is the preacher. Like it's written as if being preached to by a preacher, somebody that knows. So a preacher is somebody, Perry, right? Preacher Perry. It's got one of them, so it's one of them. It's somebody that knows already about this time loop and is explaining it in a way that doesn't say it exactly. Do you see to say it? And this really explains their role in this as a Disney character. You see to say it? There's a time for everything. We know the time. Don't worry, we're running Disney World. We have different shifts. We're going to do it. We're going to be here. We know the big day for this, that, and the other thing. We know when the ride is opening, the new ride is opening then, and the old ride is closing, and on and on and on. They know every detail because nothing in the script ever changes. You see? So, uh, also profane. Profane. Maybe I was going for secular. But I have to think about that. About the final. Thank you. Profane. Interesting. Uh, but yeah, profane is kind of like that's interesting. That's like profane. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, like you're kind of like the profane is like against God's script. You know what I mean? Like you're saying that God doesn't run everything. It's like that's profanity, right? That God's not in charge, basically. So it's speaking against the script or that God isn't running it, all that kind of. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Yeah, two good ones, man. Thank you. Uh, No, absolutely, absolutely. All right. So, a couple other pieces about Ecclesiastes. This is how Ecclesiastes ends. I'm going to read Ecclesiastes 12. Now, okay, so this is the last chapter out of 12 chapters. So, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, n- nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Right? You have no pleasure in the days anymore. And it says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. The daughters of music shall be brought low. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. Right? All the good morning. Uh, or ever the silver cord be loose, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern, then shall the dust return to the earth. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. So important. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed as sought out and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. The words of the wise are as goads and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, and every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. That's how the book ends. Judgment day is coming. I mean, uh, they know. You see us saying that they know the Disney World characters. I mean, how could they not know you run in Disney World and nothing new ever and ever happens? Not one single new thing is ever going to occur ever at Disney World. Nothing. Nothing's going to happen new. Nothing. Not a new song, not a new action, nothing. Everything is already predetermined, pre-scripted, pre-staged, figured out. Disney World has a series of rides, right? If you go to Disney World, it's like, you get your ticket. This allows you to go on rides, with the green card, and you could go on blue and red too. Like it's already every ride is already figured out. You see? How you explain it all so profound. No, thank you. Never heard this before. Yeah, no, 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 no. This information comes through the spiritual hierarchy. You see what I'm saying? The Disney characters, what one of the top edict of being a Disney character is don't break character, right? Don't break character when you're working for Disney World. Don't go out of character. Don't put on the Mickey suit. Go out into Disney World and not be Mickey. Don't go just okay. I'm gonna go have a smoke over here and take off the hat and sit it next to me, and I'm gonna have a Coke, get something to eat, have a cigarette, and just chill here in the middle of Disney World. No, hat stays on. Go backstage. Take the hat off. That's when you take the hat off. That's when you see they're earning their place at playing this game. We, you and I, had to earn our place at playing this game. We had to earn it. We had to earn this place. God is all about action. Uh, and that cross, right? It's scales, right? You get to the end of the days, and that cross is weighted, right? It's weighing the deeds, weighing the deeds. And I said this week, remember last week, I said, hey, should we just rent and have no deed? You know, hey, I have no deeds to weigh. Sorry, I was just renting, you know, like, meaning, do you want something permanent in this world? No, you don't. You don't want any deeds, you know, don't any necessarily want any deeds to take care of it to trust necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Necessarily, not necessarily. I mean, concept being you don't want any. I mean, you got to be in this world, but not of it, right? Like, so you don't. I mean, what interesting. That's what Mary Baba said: be in this world and not of it. So, of you know the day. No one knows of the day and the hour. You know, uh, well, 330 million fallen angels know of it, you know, no one. So they're not, no one knows. So they're not one, they're weak. You see, no one, meaning the ones playing the game, they don't know. I even say, I don't know what's going to happen on that day exactly. I just know when it's going to happen because you look around, it's everywhere. Yeah, they just freely admit it after a while. Like, what's with the compass? What's with everything? Based on 64 to say, what's with the whole two twin towers? Like, what's with everything that you do here at Disney World based on signs and symbols and this math and this like the flags, everything. Why you everything 64? You see this, so what's with you all? Of course they know. They know of it. How else is there going to be a Disney World? There has to be. What Disney's not in on it? Come on. What? They're in on everything but not the end day. What? They sing about it. They have songs about it. They have books about it. They know everything. What are you talking about? So no one playing the game knows of the day, including myself. But the we, oh yeah, they know. They know. You see? Dee Dee, I doubt children are enough. Children are a lie, right? Just to allow them to ultimately to be God's children. I mean, which is what everyone is, including the birds and the fish and the animals and the grasshoppers and the everyone. Everything is God's child. How could it not be? So that's a tough one. That's really true, Dee Dee. That's really deeply true. Birth certificate is a deed, right? Isn't that right? It's a deed to the corporation. Everybody thinks it's a deed to them. Isn't that a fact? Yeah. You do not need any more D's, right? DD, you got a deed in your name right there. You don't need any more D's in that, right? You got a right in your name. Deed. DD. Deed E. D double E. It's a big one in your life, anyway. Deed 33. Oh my god. We come in with a script where we have to learn it. It's like I'm gonna give you a name, huh? It's like, oh, I'm gonna give you a nickname, Jack. Huh? My grandson, he says the way my stepdaughter says my name. Hey, Jack. He's like, hey, Jack. 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 I'm like, that's me. It's so funny. The names we get, you know, that's you. Get out there, be that character. Do it, Mickey. Get out. You got big ears. Go out there. Oh, blather fun. Big Ben stopped at 9 and 11 bells 48. Right? Oh, right. 11 bells 9:11. Whoopsie. It's all they care about. It's all they do. It's all they know about. It's the signs and symbols everywhere. They know all this stuff. And so that's all their only reason for living is they want to ride this ride ultimately. And they can't say a thing and they have to get more responsibility and play a different character over time and never give up the game or else, they go backwards and take a crappier, more distant, you have no part in the script anymore character and so you can be trusted and then go out and play Mickey again. Do it. Your whole life, you're Mickey. Do it. It's like thanks. I have such an easy time keeping straight who I am now. They have a hard job, but they have to play their role, and then one day that enables them to play the game. That's where the gay players come from. It's like you know. What's that mockingbird thing where it's like that dystopian uh thing about the future where you can't eat. It's like, okay, you'll be divvied up into these different plantations and we'll pick one of you to die or win the game as you fight each other to the death. That one, and you'll be children. So that's kind of what we're doing. Basically, we're children to them. Like we don't, this is their first lifetime that we can remember. That's being a child to them. They remember all the lifetime. How do they not know everything? They know everything. So to us, to them, we're like children. But to watch me, they're like, you know, oh, that we get one of these guys every time loop. Watch out for this guy, like. But they know, oh, hey, a new slot's going to open up for someone else to play because look, he woke up and he's waking some other people up, so they're doing their job and earning their wigs and feathers back. They lost their wigs, you know. Can't just fly around in the ether no more. We're gonna give you a body. Now you gotta, play Disney characters. And I'm like, oh, great, thanks. And then you gotta play up to the 33 levels, and then at the end of it, hey, you can play the game, and we'll see if you actually love God. And it might take you a bunch of lifetimes or whatever. And once your actions are good, you come back. You don't have to play the game or a character in the game. You can be with God again. That's what we're doing. So of course they know. I read your last book. You should read the rest of this book. It's really, now that I've explained, with just regular plain English, hey, we're in a time loop. I didn't make it about some religion or something like that. Or, and I didn't make it like, I'm the new Christ, listen to me, da 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 da. I made it into, I have Christ consciousness. Jesus Christ is coming. This is a script that God made. Everybody else should be working towards Christ consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Becoming one with God instead of one with programming and lying, BS, and fear that we've been programmed with and set into our brain and thoughts and time since we've been, put here in a body. Uh, I'm just saying, I'm at the top of the heap and figured it out, and we're all trying to figure it out together individually, not together. We're together in the same place, but we're trying to figure it out individually. So, then hey, I figured it out. I learned, and then now I'm able to tell everyone else coming up behind me, like, hey, did you make it through that snowdrift? I'm like, because I'm just breaking trail through this giant, field of snow where you can't see anything, right? It's all white. It's like, no, I found something through the snow. I've been tunneling and digging and I found something. And like, you did? Yes, it's not all just snow here, not all BS. And so, like, no, here, right here, we got to go this way. And these are the reasons. It's like, great. So that's what it's like spiritually, the preacher and Ecclesiastes is saying someone does have this knowledge. You see what I'm saying? Super many, all the Disney characters, they have this knowledge. But also there's one in the game who has it because, hey, you won the game first. And so the goal being the characters playing the game here at Disney World, everyone has got to, endeavor to have this consciousness as well, and it's possible based on our actions or what we do that we can make it to the end or before the end get, oh, hey, I'm conscious of this. So the more you remove and just say eliminate, oh well, that stuff I was told is, you look at uh oh what's her name, the Mona Lisa, sorry, it took me a second there. The Mona Lisa, right? Oh, it's such a great painting. You got to see it once in your lifetime and stuff. And it's like behind a bunch of glass, and you got to stand in line with like thousands of people. It's like, oh, that's it. It's like, everything's prescriptive, predetermined. I'm sure it's a okay painting. I'm sure there are a whole bunch of other ones I'd be interested in seeing that God made. I saw a great one in India that I was much more taken with as a motif and pieces of interest is watch the Judgment Day on a giant, piece of canvas in front of you that's way bigger than any individual. It's like, man, that's a giant painting in a giant church you built. God, that looks pretty serious over there, like your whole painting and everything. This is a very serious game. They take it, look, you have to look at this, okay? They don't break ranks, they are silent when they're young, when they're a teenager, when they're young, when they're younger than a teenager, whether they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. You see what I'm saying? They don't break silence and give up the game. Never at any age do you understand what you're up against. Do you have that ability to do that? No, you don't. You see what I'm saying? Could you never break ranks as speak and be like, "Oh, I'm playing this game, a character over here," and never break ranks to anyone you know your whole life, whether you get to know them, you marry them, any of that stuff, have children with them, nothing, and you never break, and you never tell them the truth, never bring it up, nothing. Even if they bring up parts of it, stuff you never help them along, never, nothing. You don't ever do that. Never. You let them play it out on their own. Could you do that? No, you couldn't do it. I can't do it. Look, I'm talking to you about it. Once I figured it out. No, I can't do it. I can't. It's not my nature. It's not strictly in your nature either. I don't talk about it with many people anymore, but man, I talk to everyone everywhere until they realize, wait a second, you already know. Y'all already know. So you see what I say? So our nature is to like, oh my God, hey, somebody's pulling the wool over our eyes, and this is how they're doing it. And then you realize all you do is talking to the people pulling the wool over your eyes. You're like, ah, so you got you know everything, and I know nothing. But now I'm just starting to wake up. Okay, got it. That's a tough pill to swallow. That this game is that absolutely difficult, and that your adversaries in this game that you need to overcome, that's how seriously they play the game. They never break ranks and never say the truth, not ever, not one of them, and their whole lifetime, no matter what age they are, what emotions they're going through, they nothing breaks them, so that they come out a Disney character, nothing. So they understand and obviously have a fear of God, because what would make you do that? Have a fear and a true understanding of God, that you got to do what God says. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to play the game that God says play it, or you can't advance. And so your adversaries take it this seriously. Book of Ecclesiastes, all they do is sing about it. They run only on that. There's time for everything. And that's the way it is. God decided that. That's their life. That's everything about their life. The Christian church, ecclesiastical relates to the Christian church, meaning that book describes everything of all life for everyone, because every knee must bow, every tongue confess. So that book, Ecclesiastes, relates to everyone that takes a breath. Everyone, and describes everything everyone falls under. That book, you see? And so this trust is the same way, isn't it? You can this wins the game fully. This is you're a Christian. Okay, I'm with the whoever's Christ, right? Hey, Christ meaning, oh, you rule the crystal dome. Jesus Christ. Hey, no, I'm with you. I'm with Christ. There you go. Get me out of here. Get my consciousness out of here. Get me to the truth. Get me to win the game. Thank you. I'm with you. Dude, that's it. You choose that as an adult. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not with the in God we trust anymore. This relates to the time loop. There's a time for everything. There's a time for you pulled the wool over my eyes. There's a time for the signing that document. Hey, I'm with God. You see, there's a time for that, and that's when you begin, your moment when you win the game, right? Like I signed with it. Oh, hey, I did it. Hey, nothing changed. It's like, well, you're still here. So it is going to change until that last day. And signing this trust to be, hey, it's kind of, it's not putting all on your shoulders anymore. You see, you say, no, there's, call it God, call it whatever you will, right? There's something that's so impossible to describe running everything that restarts a whole time loop that's, how good, if you think about, the power to start a stop a restart time, how would you even describe that? How do you describe something starting and stopping at the same time? How could you describe in the nature of your mind, right? How could you explain, how could you fully understand your nature and a body here in duality, a total explanation of what it means when time stops and starts at the exact same time? Like, what does that look like to God? How is that? Like, how do you describe it? Uh, to everything, turn, turn, turn. There's a season for everything. There's a time when everything's going to happen. There's a time when your character is going to do this, that, and the other thing. That's what's going to happen. Okay? Ecclesiastical trust. This is how you win this incredibly short period of time that we find ourselves in as individuals, where we can win this game and be like, hey, I saw through your game. Man, God, you're pretty good at these games. You made a whole bunch of games like tennis and baseball and basketball. You made a whole bunch of games that people play in a game for your soul. Like, you're really into games. Yeah, so, but and so we're playing this game. And again, look at your adversary. In a game, we're in a game. Okay. So in a game, your adversary in a game, like what happens after a game? Oh, we played football. And what happens? Two lines of team walk by each other. Hey, good game, shake hands. All right, great game. Hey, man, you got me on that one. Hey, way to go. Hey, good game, good game. Hey, that was great. Good game, good game. Okay. Hey, nice one, nice one. Do you see what I'm saying? This is a game. Okay, your adversary who you have to beat, and I mean fully, absolutely beat in this game, and then win the game and come to God. You have to beat them. And then at the end of the game, you see it's a game and they were your adversary. How that, impossibly so that they were your adversary doing this knowingly and on purpose and stuff to earn spiritual advantage for them so they can ultimately play the game for your position. Like, can you see that they understand the nature of God way more deeply than you do? You see what I'm saying? They never break ranks. They never tell the truth. They never give up their game. They never do it. Never. What could possibly make anyone? have that nature their entire life with never messing up? How could they all individually do that? How could you do that? You can't. Don't sit here and say you could never, you could, oh, I would do that my whole life. I would never break rank. How? Can you understand how difficult that is? And there are millions of them. So, and they got to hear Earth to play the game after being elsewhere in the ether, you know? They finally got a place here. Oh, don't worry, I'm going to be a good character, Psycho. You better be, or we're going to, toss you back into the ether. Okay. Get it together, Mickey. It's an incredibly difficult game. And obviously, they understand the nature of God. Your adversary understands the nature of God so deeply. Can't you see what they're doing? They know all this truth, and they never tell anyone their whole life. They never say, oh, they're two different species here. They never do this. But you can see this all in their actions, the way the game is played, the wealth they have, the where they live, everything. They know everything I'm saying. And they never break ranks and never tell the truth. All these different individuals in all these countries, millions and millions and millions of them living this way in this fake, totally fake life where it's just like being a character. And this life is simply to them. It's not their life. They're being Mickey Mouse. That's not a life. That's just playing a character. You see, that's their life, is playing a character. You see? They don't pay bills. No, if you went to Disney, hey, I work at Disney. Uh, oh, here's Disney cafeteria. Yeah, they're gonna buy you lunch or make it a discounted rate. Otherwise, you bring your own lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, so it's part of the perks, right? Hey, don't worry, we'll get you some company housing. Yeah, don't have to pay your electric bill and food. Well, we got unlimited everything. We have to make it look like there's scarcity. So we have a game up here, right? Okay, okay. There's no scarcity, obviously. So you're gonna eat, you're gonna have food, you're gonna have a place to you have everything. Don't worry, we'll handle all that. Exactly. Jay, they don't pay bills, they don't worry about that stuff. You know, this whole place, this whole dome is Disney World. So it's all, almost every one of the pieces of housing, building, everything is infrastructure for Disney World. So the characters could live somewhere, be somewhere, have meetings somewhere about us and all everything. This is like Disney. This is Disney World. I mean, that's the way you have to think of this whole place. All their lives are just totally fake. How else could they never break rank and never tell because they're not living real lives. They're living these characters in this game, time loop, designed and built by God, and God makes the characters, and now you're gonna play. So that's what's happening here. And that book, Ecclesiastes, I want to say in every detail of what I'm saying. Go look at it. Sarita and Venus, twin boys, grew with money and fame. They're characters. That's all. They're characters. They're all playing a role, and they are just a character. So, can you see that? Can you go to Disney World? Listen, listen, listen. Look at yourself at Disney World. Okay, if you went to Disney World and you were a child, let's say you're 3, a Mickey Mouse character came up to you in costume, you're like, fuck, it's Mickey Mouse. Oh my God, it's Mickey Mouse. Hi, I see you on my TV. Here you are. Mickey, give me a hug. I love your stuff, man. Mickey, get over here. Come on. Can't you see that you're like a 3-year-old looking at Mickey Mouse, but you're looking at these people as if they're living real lives and not playing Mickey Mouse? You see, it's a misunderstanding of what's going on in reality here. You're just misunderstanding everything about their life. You're like a 3-year-old in here thinking Mickey Mouse is real. That's what's happening. You see, where you think their lives are real and not playing a character, and that's their entire existence, is a spiritual game for God. If you think they're doing one other thing, come on, look at their lives. Look at what they're doing. No, Jamie, yeah. So you see a cast member, yes, Disney employee, right? right? Cast member, exactly. You're cast under the dome, right? Liquid becomes solid. That's casting, right? Get down there, fallen angels. You're no longer in heaven. Get under the dome. Eventually, be human, play the game. Get under the dome. I'm gonna make that ocean go solid and visibly cast. So I'll put you in that casting, right? Get in there. Exactly. Fighter, yeah, totally, 100%. 100%. That's do you see? And do you see when you go to Disney World, right? You know those are Disney characters. You know from their outfit and stuff. Oh, you're working at the Disney store. Oh, okay. That's why you don't break ranks. You're in character. Thanks, man. My all my little ones had a great time today. Thank you. High five. I had a great time at Disney World. That was great, you know. But don't you see that's all that's happening right now today with everything around you? Can you see that? That's the thing that people you see us say that they don't break ranks, they don't say this is Disney World. And they are in a cast. Yes, they are in a cast. It's all like the Indian caste system. That's right. You're gonna play this character over here. If you do it well enough, we're gonna move you over to this character in like 10 more lifetimes, maybe 100 more time loops. Wait, you said 1,000 and I'm at 999. I got one more time loop and then I move up. I'll play this other character. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, we did say all right. Can you imagine their sense of time and so on? Like it's just it's not something they don't think anything like we think. Nothing. There's we're beginning since I've given you the knowledge in here and being more exacting with all the details and stuff. Uh Humans have never been able to think this way. You see what I'm saying? Uh this is me. I'm probably, let's just call me the most empathetic individual alive because what? Empathy is what like how do you know this? Empathy. I could look at them and see what are you doing over there? You see to say, like I'm an auditor. You see, what are you doing over there? Like, let me see the paperwork and stuff. What are you doing? Like, I watch you. What are you doing? And what are you actually doing? What are you actually not what you say you're doing, not what you're pretending to be doing, but what are you actually doing? You see? So empathy is being able to, put yourself in a position over there, say, what are they doing? You know, like how do you do that? You look at them, you're like, I don't know, they're just walking or something. No, you have to put yourself in that position. Be like, if I was doing that, I would be doing that for this reason. Well, why would I do that? You see what I'm saying? That's called empathy, where you can put yourself in the other person, other individual's place and be like, that's why I would be doing those things. And that's why history is fake, because if you have proper empathy, you would understand no one fucking do that. No one would do that stupid scripts. Hey, we need millions of all the young men dress up and carry these weapons to go murder each other because you know what? We tell you what? Hey, did you read the newspaper? We have reason. We're murder the crap out of each other. Let's go up here. Come on, come on, come on. I mean, like, what? When has the government told the truth? Go murder your own people. No, that's what people would say. But everyone's like, oh yeah, cool. Hey, no problem. Empathy. Would you do these things? Then no. Would you do what they're doing? No, unless you had a purpose, a reason to do certain things they're doing. Why are they playing a Disney character? Why? How could they do that? Because they understand the nature of God and they fear God. You see what I'm saying? Obviously. Uh, yeah. Dee Dee. Well, one time I commented about Disney World and someone said she lived by there. Uh, Got so said she lived by there, got so angry. Oh, someone said, yeah, got so angry. Yeah, right. Disney World is real to her. Weird. No, but that's what it's like here. Like this world is real. Baba calls it illusion. It's like, well, when is so he didn't say, oh hey, some of it's an illusion. He's like, no, the whole thing's an illusion. It is. Why? Who's playing what parts? For what reason? Why is the illusion happening? You see? If it is, and obviously it is, if you have empathy, you're like, why are you doing these things? None of what you're saying and what you're doing, they don't go together. You know? Once you see that with them, you're really an adult, and you're like, what? This is totally all of you are lying all the time. Why are you doing that? You know? Why? Well, isn't dressing up as Mickey Mouse, isn't that a lie all the time? Isn't being a Disney player like, oh, I'm a character, I'm over here? That's a lie. That's lying. But it's like a game where that's part of the rules is you're gonna lie and you're gonna play this character, and that's okay. But that's what's happening around us. They're just not breaking rank and say, oh, I'm a cast member. I'm not gonna, can't tell you. They never say it. Come on. But what you see, that's the only thing that's happening, right? You're in the Truman Show, then you start acting up, like walking through traffic. You're just like, oh, maybe I'll just stop here in the middle of the road and see what happens. They all stop. I've done it in India with just thousands of vehicles. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna die if you go in there. It's like do, just walk right through it. And they're like, "Erp, erp." What? Uh, Jay, if one of these fallen angels say, let's say a cop broke rank and signed a trust, would that be automatically say to no? You see, no. Skip the next step. No. Great question. This is the way I used to think. You see what I'm saying? I went for years. I was like, wait, I have the trust. All you got to do is sign, and you're out of the game. They're like, no, 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 we can't do that. It's like, why? Because they have other knowledge. You see, they have two things of knowledge that we don't have. One is they have knowledge of the whole game, and one of the rules is, hey, you can't sign that trust to get out. You have to work your way up. And yet, I've stood in front of them and said, I'm telling you, you sign this trust, you don't have to work your way up anymore. You will be with God to get out of here this lifetime. Then look at me and pause for a moment, and they say no. But they think about it for a brief second and they just say, no, I can't do it. My children, my this, everything to do with their cast membership, everything to do with their character, they'd have to give up. And that's what happens when they think in their head, oh, I have to give up my character and I have to be you. And then they're like, I don't know. I'm not ready to do that, Like they're created, we are created, the ones playing this game are created in a way to not be able to break rank. Them, they can't do it. I've tried and tried and tried and tried in multiple countries and Indian nations and on and on and on and on and on. When I couldn't shut myself up. That's why I'm saying understand the nature of your adversary. Jay, they never break ranks. Never. Never. How's that possible? You see what I'm saying? They can't do what you asked about because they can't break ranks. They can't do it. It's impossible. They can't, they won't, will not. No, 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 no. It's the way they were created. Do you understand? They can't do it. They can't. It's not possible. But I saw it as a shortcut. Hey, all you got to do is this. And these are the reasons why. They're like, no, can't do it. It's like, no, they have like them organic robots over there. It's like Isaac Asimov's, three laws of robotics or something. They have some script built into them. They say no. They fear God and they feel breaking God's rules is going to stop their progress. They fear they would go backwards instead of forwards. You see what I'm saying? So they must have seen it happen before. Hey, one of you tried to sign a trust out here. So we're sending you or demoting you back to the restroom attendant. You're a restroom attendant now, or whatever they do. But Could they silently pray to Jesus Christ? That's what I'm saying. Let me let's go deeper in this one, okay? It's a reasonable question, super reasonable question. I remember going into I was seeing at the edge of the drum circle was in this like all chatted up, beautiful fairy dude was near the edge, and he looked at me and I said, "Oh, hey, I work for Christ." And I was trying to get through an obvious fairy over there, and he looks at me and says, "Doesn't everyone?" If Jesus Christ runs the world, how's somebody not working for him? How's the devil not working for him? How's every Disney character not working for Jesus Christ? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. They know they're serving Jesus Christ already. They already know they're serving God. They already know they have a role. They're doing their best at their role so that everyone else playing the game can actually play the game, because there is no game unless they play their role. And that's their role for God. So fallen angels just means they're under the firmament. If they got a body, so what? Fall under they didn't fall under the dome yet, but they'll be back. If they're coming out of the dome, they'll be back. They got a body, they come in, they play character. So I mean, is it a fall to move up in the ranks, to move from, you know, I'm gonna go from being disembodied, right? Have no body, to having a body. Now I got no wings. I can't be anywhere I want to be anytime. And then now I'm going to have my memory wiped and I'll play as a human. That's just a game. It's an ego death, the whole thing. Like you're an unlimited being with wings and directly work for God. Yeah. And then now I'm going to throw you under the dome. Oh, that sucks. But I have to trust you, play your character, and then you have to play the game with no character information or script or anything, and win the game based on your heart and who you are, because you were ready based on all the tests and temptations of the millions and billions and jillions of lifetimes you had playing a character as a Disney character. You did so exemplary at that you eventually get your memory wiped to come in here and play with your heart, you see, and trying to win the game. That's it. Can't you see, though, the nature of the individuals you're up against a we? Can't you see how your nature has to overcome that with being even more clear that God has to be respected, feared, loved, everything, and pay attention to that, and overcome your adversary, you see? And respect them, right? Go through the line of football game. Hey, good game, high five, good game, good game. You're almost happy there, good game. That's when you know you won. You're not in the game anymore, trying to win your soul. You're like, hey, good game. Every time you see a fallen angel, sort of, hey, hope you're in your feathers and wings. Hey, good, you be good character. Thanks, man. Thanks for working for Disney. Had a great time here at Disney. Okay, all right. I'm giving you a good review because everything, God knows everything. So I'm giving you a good review right now. They're like, thanks, because it does help them. So when you actually play the game like that, literally go through life, and that's how you go through life, knowing it's a game, giving them good reviews and stuff, they start to respect you, they start to understand you. So does God, and that becomes the nature of who you are. You won the game. You're past the game. You're walking through the line. Hey, high five, good game, good game. You had me there. Hey, good game, good game. Hey, thanks. All right, thanks for playing the game. Anyway, I'm retiring. All right, thanks. Not playing the game anymore. Hey, good game. Thanks. I'm retired. Yeah, my last game. Okay, see you. See you. That's it. Get it? All right. All right, listen, I've been up here for a minute. I wanted to get this out. The ecclesiastical nature of our reality, and for you get you to read that book and see, because every time, wouldn't it be great if this dude turned out to be an idiot and a crackpot? It would be great if the whole script were true, and then, oh man, we don't have to figure out anything anymore. Everything is true. So great. But that never turns out to be the case, does it? I already know. I always know what I'm saying. I'm always giving you a little more knowledge and so on. And it always links together with everything else, because it's a really simple game. Okay, you're in like your inches from the winner's circle, and so you can see the whole thing now. And so now it's how you play it day to day. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the donations. Right. I'm the I'm like the dude in every movie. Right. Judgment Day is coming. The end is near. Hey, they make that's a everybody wants. Man, don't listen to that dude. It's like so the old guy with his oldest in the character scene, he don't know nothing. Oh, all right, just don't listen to old guys because they haven't lived a life for nothing. Oh, okay. Don't listen if they can reason it out and tell you. Don't just put a character in every movie. It's like don't listen to them. They're crackpot. Oh, except for what if they're not? You see? All right, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the support. I'll keep as long as I'm getting donations and I'm gonna say, hey, there's a reason somebody wants to get out of this game. I'm gonna keep it up. So thanks for the support. Uh, God bless you, everyone. J. Baba Didi. God bless you in the name of Jesus Christ. God is running everything. Respect that power, align yourself with that power, do your best for God, and do your best to come home. You're a child of God. And so you're like, hey, my father, anytime you're ready to get me out of the dome, hey, here's my hand. You know, give me a hand up. All right. All right, everyone. Bother funny. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate it. Hey, you're paying attention, Bladder Funnel. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for everyone really paying attention, changing their actions based on the truth because you're setting yourselves apart and you're winning this game. All right. Next Sunday, noon. You have a great week. All right. God bless you in the name of Jesus Christ. All right. Like and share. What a great thought. Thank you, Dee Dee.